Alright, YouTube, it's time for another video. Driving around, I haven't been able to get to my favorite spots on the road these days. I'm gonna have to start finding more. Not a lot of people watch my videos anyway, so who the fuck cares? But, this video I'm gonna talk about is, and I know this is gonna, I don't know, if anybody actually watched this, I think they'd get mad, but I do describe myself as like a left-wing incel. I voted Kamala. I voted Hillary. I hate all the conspiracy shit. I think almost all conspiracies are cope. I really do. I think they're cope because, there's a lot of men out there who are lonely. The male loneliness epidemic thing is a real thing. Part of it's platonic and part of it's trying to find a girl who's interested. And like I've said in numerous videos, I see a lot of women who are LGBT now, especially amongst younger crowds. I was at a hands-off protest in my neighborhood area, and a lot of the girls there were definitely holding hands with other girls and kind of flirty with them, and made me think they were in relationships. And, there is a male loneliness issue. The numbers are looking kind of bad for just interested women. However, that doesn't mean everything's a conspiracy and brainwashing and the vaccines are fucking bad and climate change isn't real. These are all copes because most right-wing incel dudes want to try to find some sort of thing to be, I'm the masculine leader here, and they're just a coping loser. I mean, that's what they are. And it's like you just have to own up to it. I'm just aware that I'm a loser. Um, I do criticize blank slate feminism from time to time because I think it's flawed. But I don't think it's really the ultimate issue. I think the ultimate issue is everybody's addicted to social media. The like and share economy has really, really rotted everybody's brains to mush. Um, I know people now who are hyper parasocial, whether it's with a streamer, whether it's with YouTubers or multiple people, OnlyFans chicks, and you name it. There's parasocial relationships developing. And what I'll say is these parasocial relationships, I think, are heavily rooted in just people not like going outside and living their lives. And, the funny thing is people say, well, the economy sucks. And first of all, the economy was, the U.S. economy was actually doing fairly well compared to other European nations, even during Biden. Um, we weren't perfect by any means, but I would actually argue the main reason why the economy sucks isn't even um, about the trading of stocks or Doge or even like Trump shit. I would actually argue most of it is due to the fact that people are they're terminally online and the velocity of money in their local areas has dwindled. It's very small. This is especially true in the suburbs. I believe I made a video called "The Suburbs Are Dead," and this is also especially true in rural areas across Middle America. People talk about how their local restaurants, they used to have 7, now they have 3. The movie theaters are closed and boarded up and graffiti everywhere. The hardware store is going out of business, etc. And it's because, again, it's made up of people. And if you're buying all your shit online and all your entertainment is drama within our government or whatever, um, that's what's taking up your time. You don't have anything you're excited about other than watching the world go to shit, kind of. And that's why I think Trump won. This is the fault of people who are addicted to. And by the way, when I say parasocial relationships, this is not just, thinking you're buddy buddy with your favorite Twitch streamer or OnlyFans bitch. This is a combination of like love-hate relationships that are being developed. I see a large chunk of streamers who I think their fan base likes their content, and at the same time they don't like them because they're jealous of the voice and audience that they have. So, you see this a lot with these stupid podcasts that are like kind of one or two dudes, and then they're surrounded by like 8 OnlyFans chicks or something like that. And sometimes the guys are well into their 30s or even 40s, and the girls are like 22, and it's like, a 22-year-old girl is an adult. Like, don't get me wrong, but she's still maturing in a lot of ways. I mean, I would argue both men and women, they say, oh, women mature faster. I'm not so sure. I mean, in some ways, maybe, but, I do think that most people over exaggerate that. Mainly, it's just women start puberty about 1 to 2 years earlier, and then it ends like 1 or 2, and that's just physical development. But in terms of life experience and stuff like that, I'm not so sure if women mature faster than men or men. I think it's relatively similar, actually. But it is kind of bizarre watching these like 30-something-year-old dudes, like, or even again 40-somethings. In fact, there was one time I watched one of the podcasts, and it was like that Rollo Tomasi dude who thinks he's like alpha or some shit, and he's like, that guy looks like he looks kind of like he's dying of like some sort of like cancer or something. His body seems a little bit like odd looking, and he's probably in his 50s, and it's like, and he's like scolding like a 23-year-old girl who's like, dude, what the fuck do you know about modern day society? And to be fair, maybe he does know some things, and maybe she knows things, but the thing is that's annoying about these parasocial relationships are these OnlyFans chicks even say like they get yelled at on the stream via like donations on these podcasts or streams or whatever. And then they find like the only reason why they go on them though are these same dudes who are yelling at them, calling them whores, calling them sluts, calling them like, fucking, they should be at home, cooking all day and shit, which I don't subscribe to. I don't think OnlyFans is the right course of action either, um, but these women then like, well, my subscriber counts on all these platforms go up after appearing on these podcasts. So I mean, a lot of it is on the dudes. It's like, you can't, like, it's a parasocial thing. You're hating on them in public, and then you're, like, jerking off to them or something. And it's like, huh. It's a complete parasocial relationship. It's not just this is my friend or this is my buddy. This is, these are dudes who are, literally kind of violent and hateful, and then at the same time, like, parasocial sexually with them. I mean, it's bizarre as shit. And this is the fucked up world we live in. So I think that society is kind of just fucked. I mean, you just don't have people living their lives anymore. They're on the internet all day. And again, the economy is bad because everyone is on the internet, not the other way around. What came first was people got addicted to the internet, and then your local towns and your communities all started to lose business and lose just the velocity of money and the velocity of just people, just people showing up. Because a lot of these things are also, historically, these are the best ways to meet maybe a girl to date. I mean, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but back in, before the internet, people were more willing to like, oh, maybe I'll be seen by a girl or a guy at the mall or some shit. And that was a much more, I would argue, fun, romantic, flirty way to meet a girl or meet a guy. Through, an appearance in public where you kind of see each other and you roll the dice and take the chance. It didn't happen all the time, but I mean, it happened in a fuck ton more than it does now because of the internet ruining people's brains. And people had to go out and, be a little bit more, there's an anxiety there, but it's an anxiety that might lead you to something rather than just social media anxiety where you're afraid that someone's getting more followers than you or some retarded or stupid, I shouldn't say that word, sorry. But yeah, I mean, I think the internet in general, your internet addiction ruined things. It's not Democrats or even Republicans. The only reason why I think the Republicans are worse is because the Republicans are the terminally online way more. I mean, again, the anti-woke people are way louder now than the everything's woke now. The people complaining about wokeness is the bigger, louder people. The people who are maybe you would describe them as woke, maybe they have like pink hair or whatever. They're around, but I kind of feel like they're the ones kind of moving on with their lives a little bit. And again, I'd rather be with that group at least right now than the people who are just terminally online complaining all the time about, oh my God, the wokeness and shit. It's like, I wish there were more women interested in men on the left, but I do see a lot of non-hetero women there, um, but I will say I do think that they're, in general, kind of at least trying their best to move on to some degree. And that's what I want. I think these eras need to end. I mean, we've been stuck in the first, the two parts that I think make up today's society are the '07 to 2014, 15-ish era, and then the 2015-ish era to today. And I thought last year I saw a little bit of writing on the wall with where I thought things were maybe ending, but I don't think so. I think that social media and internet addiction has now plagued way too much of our society, including even the White House. I mean, Elon Musk bought Twitter and effectively used that to win the White House. And I want to live in a less social media world. I want that to be, and I truly believe Kamala was the better choice just on that alone. I want less people on the internet, and I want less people, the amount of time that people use the internet. I'm not saying it has to completely go away, but I don't want to see, like, I go to a grocery store to buy my weekly groceries, and there are people who are like running into my cart because they're looking at their fucking phone. I don't want to be around that. I don't enjoy it. The other thing I will say is, gone are the days where I think people need to, in some ways I have to argue that the political right is just as big with their government, and, big government is evil, right? Everybody thinks it's evil. It depends on what they're doing, to be honest with you, but I don't think we live in a world now where Republicans are smaller government per se. I understand people will bring up, Doge this, cut that. They want to they're gutting the Department of Education. But in terms of your day-to-day life, I mean, it's like, how often were you thinking of the Department of Education last year anyway? In terms of your day-to-day fucking life, nowadays you wake up and it's nonstop political shit. I thought we wanted things to be less political. And it's literally every hour of every day now we have to listen to this shit. I mean, first it was the Signal shit where they didn't, fucking Pete Hegseth is texting war plans, or, oh, that's only battle, not war plans. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It's still just a fucking stupid shit. And, like, we're kind of, like, moved past that now because all the tariffs. I mean, even people like Steve Bannon himself said the plan is to just flood the zone with government shit. And it's like, that's big government. I mean, it's literally just flooding the zone. That's what he wants to do. And that's what the Republican Party has done. So no, I think that there's a lot of men out there who think it's like restoring their masculine roar. What roar? Your life's probably even shittier now than it was 6 months ago. There's no presidential candidate that's going to make women like want to date you. Okay? That's not how it works. That's insane if you think that. Neither political candidate's going to really encourage. They might say, I'm hoping people pair up or whatever, but neither one is really going to get you into an actual healthy romantic relationship with the opposite sex. So, like, if you're some incel dude who oh, I want to own the libtards, dude, your life's going to be just as shit in 4 years, if not worse. So I don't agree with that. I think that Trump is worse in every facet of the game, and I think the more lonely dudes like myself, they should be embracing the left more. You don't have to agree with everything on the left. Again, I don't agree with, there's a lot of people on the left who will use the rebuttal, that's just a social construct, and I think that's absolutely stupid shit. I don't think things are just a product of socialization. Almost everything is a product of both genetics and culture. And then you could even make the argument that culture is kind of a product of genetics too. Like, there's nothing in society that's completely isolated as genetics or isolated as cultural. Everything's kind of a product of both. Some might be more than others. For example, your height is more genetic, but guess what? If you have a culture of a lower protein diet and definitely higher sugar diets, whether it's your culture of, the country you live in, or whether it's your own family's culture. For example, when I was younger, my parents would never buy me sugary cereals. They refused to buy them. I was eating like Basic 4 and shit like an old man at the age of 8. And the reason why they said that was they wanted lower sugar count, because it was specifically because of that. Maybe I would have like a soda once a week on like a Saturday or something. I was usually drinking milk and water and maybe orange juice, which has a lot of sugar in it too. But yeah, my parents, so that culture of my family, was less sugar, and maybe that affects things. When you're younger, you know, higher sugar diets are going to cause your growth plates to close up earlier, which means maybe, instead of being 6'2", you're 6'1" or something. It's not a huge difference, but it might, but your diet, which is a product of your culture, will make a little bit of a difference. It's also why, a lot of like Asian countries tend to be shorter, because they actually had lower protein diets for a long period of time. They're starting to have higher ones now. And guess what? They're kind of growing a little bit in height. So yeah, but it's like, for the most part, your genetics are height. But it's not completely, especially before and during puberty. Now, once you hit like my age at 32, 33, well, nah, I mean, your growth plates have closed. You're not growing anymore. Unless you have like a pituitary gland issue, where maybe then your growth plates might not close at all. But anyway, that's a small percentage of people. So yeah, I don't agree with the left on everything is a product of social constructs. I think that's mostly dog shit. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna think the vaccines are fake and climate change isn't real. And it just means I have to stand up for what I've observed, which is not everything's a product of social constructs. That's not true. And the left does have that issue, and I think they're starting to realize that that's not true. But that's also partially due to, in my personal experience, because I've had some discussions with family and friends about it, and they're like, "Oh, I see your perspective, and I see why you believe the things that you believe in." So that, yeah, I mean, I don't think people should believe that, Republicans are a small government. They might be smaller in some ways, but they're larger in others, and they're monopolizing all your fucking time. You're also spending just way too much time on the internet in general. And I understand, again, I always bring up the irony of me posting these things, but again, if people watched my video once, never watched it again, and just went outside and started living their life, and I saw that a little bit in where I live as well, more people going out, I would be not making these videos anymore, because I'd be living my life and having a larger social group of friends, platonic friends of the same sex, platonic friends of the opposite sex, and ideally a girl to get married, or that I'm dating, at least, maybe leading to marriage. And that would be way worth more than even if this video blew up and I got 20 million subscribers or some stupid crap. Anyway, social media has ruined society in a lot of ways. Just my thoughts, and I'm out.